At 7 o'clock, I will call this meeting to order. This is the Breezy Point City Council regular meeting for Monday, November 2nd, 2020. First order of business is the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Well, with the change in time, it's really dark outside. My wife was commenting, how come it is so horribly dark out? Well, it's because it's wintertime. First order is the consent agenda. You have the council minutes for October 5th, 2020, and our special workshop meeting of November 13th, 2020. And we also have approval of claims totaling $280,888.05, which includes electronic checks 2456E through 2646E and 2650E, and paper checks 136328 through 136387. Is there anything you would like to have taken off and discussed separately? I'll start with you, Michael.
No.
Gary? No. Rebecca?
No.
Gary?
No.
Okay. Entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as written.
So moved.
Second?
I'll second.
All those in favor of approving the consent agenda, please say aye.
Aye.
Consent agenda is approved as written. Next item is open forum. Anybody wishing to come before City Council on any topic can do so at this time. State your name, address, and you can speak.
Good evening, lady and gentlemen of City Council. My name is Mark Miller. I live at 32255 West Street. 5 months ago, I came before this council to request a study for speed limits on West Street and East Street in the Delwood Acres area heading northward towards Lake Aussie. A study was done. It lasted for a day. There was a speed limit sign put out there by the Breezy Point PD. And for that day, traffic slowed down immensely to the 30 miles an hour or less as it's dictated. However, since that time, and obviously the busy season where the tourists come up and, come to their lake homes, the speeds have increased to the point where a new resident that lives on 2nd and East, Ryan De La Pena, put up a cardboard sign that said 30 miles an hour to encourage the people commuting up and down East to slow down because he has 4 young children. That sign on that same day was taken down by the City of Breezy Point Public Works. I saw them because I was standing in the crawl space of one of my new constructions while I watched them do it. Now I implore the City Council to please revisit this issue for the public's safety, to at least look into adding another speed limit sign that has the Your Speed powered by a solar panel on top of it. I believe that the city can get one of those signs for $1,500. Maybe there's a special discount for MnDOT approved signs that are sold to municipalities. I just hate to see, once again, I'll reiterate what I said 5 months ago, I would hate to see something tragic happen to an elderly citizen who's walking up and down that road, or a young child get plowed over by someone who felt that East Street or West Street was a drag race area. So please, I implore you, please look into potentially adding 2 more signs, one on West Street and East Street.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else wishing to come forward? Nobody else appearing? I will close the open forum. Mayor and City Council reports. The Region 5 Economic Development Commission I'm a member of the Crow Wing County, I'm the representative for the Crow Wing County municipalities to the Region 5 Economic Development Commission. My term is expiring at the end of this year, and I would like to continue on this commission. And as such, I would appreciate a nomination for putting my hat in the ring. And basically, any one of these council members, elected officials, can nominate me, and I'm so asking for that nomination, if anybody would like to do that for me.
So moved.
Gary? Okay.
Done.
And that is essentially all we need to have, is one person nominate me, and I'll have you sign the nomination form at the end of the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you.
The other thing is, at the special meeting on October 13th, we discussed the VRBO ordinance in a joint meeting with City Council and Planning and Zoning. It was a very good meeting. Everybody did have something to say. And the consensus was the primary issue has to do with enforcement of the ordinance. With the new Crow Wing County ordinance coming on effective January 1st, we will have conflicts between that ordinance and the city ordinance. And I will be appointing a special committee that will be charged with resolving these differences. I haven't appointed that yet. I will probably have that appointed for the December meeting. The ordinances, as they stand, there's quite a few differences between them, and the enforcement is very heavily in favor of the county ordinance, but we'll have to see how that works. And lastly, I'd just like to say good luck to all those up for election and re-election. It's going to be a challenge, especially for the staff, with the voting process here, because we kind of possibly expect a large turnout under very difficult circumstances. So I'll just ask support of the staff for having a very long day tomorrow. Council members, Michael, I'll start with you. Anything to report?
Nothing real new. We have the RFP for the road study for the Bushman, so we'll have that discussion later. But nothing from roads.
Okay. Okay. Gary, anything?
Yeah, two things. One, I had talked to the council before about a car for the airport, and the 47 or 97 Lincoln is not a car, but the airport has a Cadillac Escalade now as an airport car, so they really don't need one.
Okay.
And I have a question for Mr. Miller. Is there a sign on that road, children at play, or watch out for children? Anything like that?
So the two signs that are on East and West Street are within 100 feet of the County Road 11. Both are obstructed. During the spring, the West Street one is covered by leaves, so you really can't see it. On the East Street one is a pine tree, jack pine or some form of pine tree. There are no slow children signs or caution or yield signs at play down either roads, to the best of my knowledge.
Is that anything that's desirable by you and the neighbors there?
I don't want to speak for Ryan, but because they do have young children, I would imagine that they would, gladly take any form of yield or caution. As for me, I live down the hill in the depression point, so I think they're catching momentum on the hill. So just something to remind them in a friendly way that, hey, the speed limit is 30, not 45, and, hopefully we could quell that issue.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Rebecca, anything?
I don't have anything, no.
Yep. Gary, anything?
No, sir.
Okay. Administrator and staff reports. We have A computer program is requested by the police department. It is for recording the video data that is, a little bit farther. Got to catch up here. They have the video cameras, are going onto a standalone server that is located over in the public safety building. And they want to enable this new, take on this new program. It's called WatchGuard, to be able to store the data in the cloud, and it would reduce the staff time and the supplies and postage in creating videos for outside agencies. The requests could be able to be handled electronically via email, so it would save quite a bit of money from that standpoint. The total amount is $3,817. I'll entertain a motion to approve the purchase of and the installation of this software and hardware.
So moved. Second.
Discussion. Michael, I'll start with you since you're our computer expert.
Well, I wouldn't say expert. I actually did look into this program a little bit with the chief. Basically, it takes a lot of their manpower out of the equation.
Right.
The way I understand it is the squads all have their cameras in there. As soon as they pull into the building, it will automatically upload to the cloud.
Okay.
Essentially secure servers. And so that way, if the police department needs to share that file or that video, they can securely share it. That link is only good for so long. It's still on WatchGuard servers, so it's not offloading or downloading it that people could tamper with it or anything like that. So there's a lot of safety precautions with going with a hosted platform. Takes a lot of the oops out of the factor.
Yeah, that's when I was first looking through this. Before I got to the WatchGuard portion of it, that was my biggest question: is how secure is the cloud? But it sounds like it's been totally looked at. And
Yes.
okay, so Gary, any questions?
No.
Rebecca?
No.
Gary?
No, sir.
Okay. All those in favor of authorizing the purchase of the WatchGuard video storage, and this would be using alcohol forfeiture funds for a total of $3,817, please say aye.
Aye.
For those opposed, the motion is approved. Next order of business is public hearing for raising the salaries of city council. City council has been the lowest paid city council in the entire area. And this was noticed by the finance committee. So we discussed it last month a little bit, and so tonight would be the first opportunity. So at this point, I will open the public hearing for discussing this, and the first item is staff review. Patrick, if you want to...
We've included for council's review salaries for similar-sized cities in Crow Wing County. You have that information in front of you. We've looked at it in the past. Again, each city is a little bit different. Some cities have 2 meetings. Some cities pay for mileage or special meetings. But as you noted, currently the city council of Breezy Point is for similar-sized cities is the lowest paid.
Yep. Okay. At this point, I will open the floor to public input. If anybody wishes to offer their opinion on this, they may do so at this point. Anybody? Okay. Nobody appearing. I will close the public hearing, and I will open this up to Council discussion. Well, let me do this. At this point then, I will entertain a motion to approve the changes to the ordinance, to ordinance 3105, setting the council salaries. Is there anybody that wishes to make
So
that
moved.
motion? Rebecca, so moved. Anybody who wants to second it?
I'll second.
Second, okay, for discussion. Rebecca, I'll start with you since you're on the Finance Committee and you did the initial research into this.
Yeah, I don't have really any comments. It's just kind of a line, Breezy Point with some of the other surrounding cities, after looking into it and really after having quite a busy, last couple of years with, the comprehensive plan and a lot of meetings around the TIFs and things like that, so.
Right. Okay. Mr. Bakken, any
I
comments?
have no comment.
Okay. Gary?
Just that, I was surprised that we're at the bottom of the pay scale for city councils. And like I said, when I was elected, I didn't even know I got a check. But I'm in favor of it.
Okay. Michael?
Nothing to add.
Okay. All those in favor of raising the the council members by $50 a month, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The ordinance change is passed. Patrick, do we have to have a summary?
We'll publish the whole thing. for the-
Question, okay, it's short, okay. Next item is, after the elections are complete tomorrow, we have to set a date for canvassing the election, and that is typically done within 3 to 10 days following, that's mandatory, that's done within 3 to 10 days following the election. However, this year, there will be a lot of absentee and early ballots that will be in progress, so, and accepted until November 10th. So essentially, we have November 11th being a holiday, we have the 12th and the 13th available for canvassing these ballots. And so what we are going to do now is to set the date and the time. Do we have any preference for dates? Michael, any preference for you?
For the most part, yeah, that's right. Thursday would be ideal. I'm pretty much open except between 3:30 and 4.
Okay, we'll get to the time next.
Okay,
Okay,
Thursday would be better ideal
you
for
would
me.
vote for Thursday. Gary?
That'd be fine with me.
Okay, Rebecca, what would work best for you?
Both days work depending on the time, like, so.
Okay.
I can make it work both days, but it just depends on what time we choose.
Okay, strong feelings both ways. Gary?
I'll be here whenever you need.
Okay, so I think probably the best date would be November 12th on Thursday. So let's establish that. Time, what would be the best? We can have anywhere between 8 a.m. and 7 p.m.
How about 10 a.m.? 11's even better.
Being retired for myself, I don't really care.
Michael,
I would-
what would work best for you?
I would ask that if we could consider some time between 2:30 and 3:30. Otherwise, ideally, 4:30 would work perfect for me.
And Rebecca, how about you?
I have conflicts between 1 and 5. I have some things for work that I can't be missing.
Okay, so you would prefer
Morning,
in the morning,
yeah.
Okay.
okay? And, you know, us.
I would prefer morning myself. but
retirees are pretty much
I'll be
in the
here when
morning.
I need to be.
Okay. What would be the best time for you?
Like 10, 11 works, or
10 or 11, Michael? Okay, so we set it at 10 o'clock
Okay.
on the 13th, okay?
That was easy.
12th on the 12th?
On the
12th.
12th,
I just
Yes.
wrote the 13th, thank you very much.
okay, yes. I'm looking at the 13th now. Yes. Okay, so it's going to be the 12th
Yep.
at 10 o'clock. Okay, I will entertain a motion to set the canvassing for November 12th at 10 o'clock.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
The date and time is set. Next item is fee schedule. Before we get into this, I'd like to have a little discussion, because one of the things that Michael brought up at the very end of our discussion last month had to do with, we don't charge for use of the park. We only charge for use of the pavilions. And at the disc golf course, we don't have any pavilions yet. And so that has been kind of weighing a little bit heavily. And then we did get a email from the head of the Bemidji Club that has been holding their disc golf tournaments here. And of course, he was looking at the original cost, but it kind of weighs a little bit on me whether or not we should be charging before we have that facility completed, totally complete, and have pavilions and things like that. So further discussion on that, let me start with you, Michael.
And we're just talking about the disc golf course fee at this point?
Yes.
So I'm going to stick to original statements. Is it isn't a completely finished.
Right.
It is a park. It is an open space area. Yes, we have tee baskets, and yes, we have targets that they can go for. We've had 3 tournaments in the last 2 years, during which time we do have staff involved to go put no parking signs, which is more of a convenience thing to make sure that emergency vehicles can still get through on the road there. But they didn't, as an organization, they don't have to. We don't have a requirement that they have to rent it out. It's a park. It's not like somebody saying, I'm going to have a birthday party and I want to take over the whole park. We don't do that. These are open spaces. Again, I'll stick to it. The crowd that plays there, if anybody were to show up during a scheduled tournament, they'd welcome with open arms and say, come join us, come learn the sport, come have fun with us. They're not going to say, get out, we've got this place. So to charge a fee at this point, I just don't, I'm strongly against it, I should say. It's park, it's open space, it's 3 times in the last 2 years, and so far the only people that have had the tournaments are nonprofit organizations. So I think we should, if they're going to try to promote our area and our course, at this point I don't feel like there should be a fee.
Gary, any comments?
We all got an email, was it from the fellow from Bemidji, and he was strongly against it. I think your point on, until it's completely, are there restrooms there now?
Nope, just porta potties.
Yeah, unless, until we have it more established and better organized, I'd be in favor of letting the fee go.
Rebecca, any comments?
Yeah, I agree with Gary and Michael. I think that makes sense to hold off at this
Okay,
point.
Gary?
No, I read the email, I agree with Mr. Maroney. No point in it.
Because one of the things, we put up no parking signs in association with the airport days. We put all that up and we've never charged for that. That coupled with the argument that Wade McCappin was bringing forward what prompted me to ask for this discussion first. So I would entertain a motion to approve Resolution 1820 with the disc golf course rental eliminated.
So moved.
There's a second.
I'll second it.
Okay. Further discussion, Michael?
No, well, yes.
I was going to say, there are other increases in there that we can talk about at this point.
The one, I just want to comment on this. I did have a brief conversation with this administrator. is when we approve this fee schedule, we are approving the $25 liquor license fees.
Yes.
This is in lieu of the, not discount, the rebate, the return funds due to
Correct.
COVID fees.
Yep.
My concern is that we have this on the agenda already placed for the 2022 fee schedule, that they'll go back up to their appropriate fees. I had a brief conversation with him. He's already has that as a note for that to be done. So I felt a little bit better about that, just so we don't have that oversight of next year if we just kind of, yep, everything looks good and kind of forget about it, so.
I was thinking about that as well.
So I felt good that that was already noted and addressed for the 2022 fee schedule.
Right.
That's the only comment I.
Oh, okay. Gary, anything?
So it was, when it was originally agreed upon, it was only for 1 year, Craig?
Yes. Yep.
And that was very clear in the proposal.
Yep.
Okay.
Rebecca?
I don't have anything.
Gary?
Nothing?
Okay. All those in favor of Resolution 1820 with the disc golf course rental eliminated, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The resolution is approved. Liquor license renewals. We would like to get the liquor license renewals for the following establishments: for Commander and JJ's, Breezy Point Resort, Antlers, Deacon's Lodge, Pelican Square, Billy's Bar and Grill. So these would be in accordance with the fee schedule that we just approved. So I'll entertain a motion to approve the liquor licenses for the above establishments, subject to the compliance documentation being submitted.
So moved.
Second.
Further discussion? Gary?
None.
Rebecca?
None. It is Patrick Esson.
Patrick?
Just to clarify, all documentation has been received and reviewed, and all the licenses will be done as of time.
Okay, that sounds very good.
Approved by the chief.
Approved by the chief. That is good to know. Gary, anything?
No.
Michael?
No.
All those in favor, say aye.
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 The liquor licenses are approved. Next item is the request for proposal for the joint Bushman, Ackerson, and Nelson and Wild Acres Road project. This has been ongoing for, oh gosh, several years now. And so we are getting ready to send out a draft RFP for the joint road project. This RFP has essentially 3 phases. First is the feasibility, and then the design, and then the construction. After the proposals are received in December, if all communities agree to proceed with the RFP, it is anticipated to take at least 12 months for the design phase. And then the communities would review the results and determine if they wish to proceed with the design and the construction phases. This has been talked about for quite a while. And so this is kind of the first step that we are going to be stepping out and seeing, getting the Bushman Road and all the interconnecting roads finally fixed. So I'll entertain a motion to authorize the publishing of the RFP.
So moved.
Second.
I want that one.
You
It's
want
been,
that
it's been a long time. Thank you
I'll take the
for,
second.
I
Okay.
appreciate that.
Well, I'll start out with Michael since he's on the road committee.
Again, as you mentioned, a long time coming. Excited to get to this point. Again, there's absolutely, I shouldn't say absolutely, no, minimal cost besides staff time has been involved into this so far. If we take the next step after we receive this RFP, that's when the dollars start adding up, and we'll have to take a look at that. All entities are in joint effort with this. Again, it's an economies of scale that we're trying to go with, is having a joint workforce getting this project completed. So,
Gary, anything to add?
No, I approve.
Yep. Rebecca, anything?
Well, everyone knows I'm very much in favor of this, so I'm excited
I was
for
going
it
to say,
too.
you almost live right on Bushman, so.
Yeah, and I just want to thank the city, the roads committee, and Patrick and everyone for taking such an active role in this, and I think that's great.
Yep. Gary?
Just a couple of quick words. Congratulations to the road committee and the time you guys put into this. It's been a long time coming. I remember it very well. I wake up at night going, Bushman Road. But it's really, I'm really happy to see this done, and the joint venture is compliments to the mayor also. It's just a beautiful piece of work.
The next item has to do with our CARES funding update. We accepted,
Mr. Mayor?
I'm sorry, Patrick.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I suppose we need to vote. Thank you. All those in favor of the publishing the RFP, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you for catching that. That's okay. I was excited about it too. That's been going on forever. Now we're starting to see something coming up on the horizon. Kind of the last order of business here is CARES resolution. This has, well, we received $187,000 for COVID expenses, and we have, the listing here in the memo gives what we have been spending our COVID dollars on to enhance our ability to deal with the COVID pandemic. And you can see all the things there. These have been ongoing, and we had authorized $60,000 to go back to Crow Wing County, which could then be distributed to businesses within Breezy Point. And there's some unallocated, unspent dollars that basically just popped up here. And so this item G is essentially a new item that has popped up on the staff, on the list. So Patrick, I'll let you explain that a little bit, because I don't really understand the whole thing yet.
Thank you. It's a very complicated process, and each of the cities and counties and townships and schools are all working together. But the fact of the matter is, earlier this year, April actually, the federal government dedicated certain dollar amounts to go to the cities and counties and states to the states, and then the states distributed it as they seem fit. In Minnesota, cities like Breezy Point received per dollar, I think it's $75. Townships received $25 $25 per person. Counties received like $150 per person, based upon the size of the government and what they're offering. The rules for this has changed almost monthly, if not weekly, on how you can spend the dollars. And some of the cities townships that applied for it right away when it became open actually had to refile, because they changed the rules and they changed how we had to submit information. Breezy Point didn't submit until September 12th, so we waited till the last minute, but they still changed some of the rules. Specifically, the one rule is to allow for staff expenditures related to COVID-19 where staff becomes exposed or has to take time off or works out of the office due to COVID-19. And so those dollars were not part of the initial memo that I gave to council, equaling the 60,000, the computers and that type of situation. So we're still calculating that dollars, and Carrie was the one who found that out, so I appreciate the work she did on that. She's still working with the groups to put those dollars amounts together. And so more and more I talk about it, I think I'd like the council, we took action. When I say we, the city council took action on items A through F to authorize those as authorized expenditures for CARES dollars. I would like you to take action tonight to approve item G, also those expenditures as CARE expense. And then finally, we received the resolution finally that the county attorney created for the $60,000 for businesses. And so if you would also then adopt that resolution on a separate action.
Okay, so the resolution 19-2020 basically covers everything in the memo except for G, or includes G?
It only covers the $60,000 specifically that we're authorizing and
Okay.
working with the county for those to be specific expenditures under CARES
Okay,
for that $60,000 with the county.
okay.
So what happens is then any dollars we don't use up for item G, which will be your separate action, let's say it's $3,000 to $10,000, we are, no matter what, on November 15th, any unspent dollars have to be rolled over to the county.
Okay. So.
There's no action needed on those dollars.
Okay, so essentially, Resolution 19, 2020 is authorizing the transfer of the 60,000 back to Crow Wing County.
Yes.
Okay. Everybody understands that, I hope. So I'll entertain a motion to approve Resolution 19, 2020, which is the CARES Act Economic Assistance Grant Program Participation, and authorizing us to transfer 60,000 of our unspent dollars back to the Crow Wing County pool to be used with other funds set aside by the Crow Wing County for this grant program.
So move.
So moved?
I'll second.
Second. Gary, any comments?
None.
Rebecca?
No.
Gary? Michael?
No.
All those in favor of approving Resolution 19, 2020, please say aye.
Aye.
Resolution 19, 2020 is approved. Now, you were saying you want a separate authorization for essentially the Part G?
Item G, yes, to take just a simple motion
Okay.
stating that the city council agrees that those are CARES COVID-related expenditures for the city of Breezy Point.
Okay, so I will entertain a motion to approve the spending of CARES dollars for the cost of staff expenses.
So move.
Second?
I'll second.
Further discussion? Michael?
I'll echo what the administrators indicated, but thank you to Carrie for finding out.
Yeah.
I know a few people that have to work with some of these funds, and it's ever-changing, so.
Yes, like trying to pin down a peeled grape or something, I don't know.
Cover?
Gary, anything?
No.
Rebecca?
No.
Gary?
No, sir?
All those in favor of authorizing the unallocated, unspent dollars for staff expenses, please say aye.
Aye.
That was a complicated one. Finally, you have an item it's just basically for your information about the library. The Women's Club has discussed the option of opening up the community library. They have set down specific rules. However, they don't have enough volunteers to operate the facility at this time, but when they do, these would be the rules that they would be following. And we don't really have any date when they would put it in. So essentially, this is just an FYI. So with that, we have completed the agenda items. We have the election tomorrow, so everybody get out and vote if you haven't voted already. And our next meeting will be the 12th at 10 o'clock for canvassing. Thank you very much.
Mr. Mayor, I
Yes.
have a question. What's the proper procedure for Mr. Miller for that sign, and does he have to make?
Yeah, we have to take that. Obviously, the cardboard sign is not allowed.
Right, I
You can't do
understand that.
So that was appropriate for the Public Works to come and take it down. But as far as getting the speed signs, those, they're actually, fairly expensive depending on which ones you get, but we would look into that.
Okay, so he doesn't have to put in a written request?
No.
All right, and I sympathize with him. On Nickel Road, we put up those signs the first year when I was on the council, and it's the trucks, FedEx, UPS, some of those, they're in a hurry and they just fly through there, so. And I also am in favor of putting up a sign, we value our children,
Yeah.
in addition.
Yep.
So, that's all.
So we will discuss that internally and see what we can do.
Okay.
But we do have money available for it. because of our contingency funding. That's why we had the contingency fund,
Good.
so. We're adjourned. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.